Hello. So, in this series, we'll be going through a Java backend server um, along with Spring Boot framework. So, today, let's just get the initial package or the initial code ready for a basic Spring Boot Java code or server. Let's just first open our web browser. We'll be going through Spring Initializer. So let's just search Spring Initializer in Google and we'll just open this one. That's start.spring.io. So this automatically builds up the basic dependencies and package configurations that are required for Spring Boot. So let's just choose the project as Gradle project because it is mostly used in Android and most people are familiar with it. The language we'll be using is Java. So Spring Boot version, I'm not sure which to choose, so we'll just stick to the initial default that it has given. Group, let's just make it as Codies and we will choose everything as demo project for Codies project. That should be fine. Packaging, it won't matter as of now, but we'll talk about this in the later stages. How is jar different from var? And for Java version, we'll be sticking with the current LTS version 11. And in dependencies, let's just use REST. So if we see this particular Spring Web, I just clicked on it. So it includes RESTful services and some MVC dependencies. It uses Apache Tomcat as well, so we are fine with that. And all we have to do is everything is fine. All we have to do is just click generate. So it will automatically download. So just save it. It must have saved in the downloads folder, I guess. So let's just extract it. So we have a demo file. Let's just rename it to Codies Spring Boot, and we will just close this. Let's just open IntelliJ. So we can use any IDE, whether it's whether it's Eclipse or NetBeans or any other that you wish. VS Code. So we don't want OBS to be here. Just open. It was in downloads. So just open it. So at the start, IntelliJ will automatically build the Gradle version so that we don't need to run command line CLI commands for building the project and running it. So IntelliJ handles everything from our end, so it will take some time. Let's wait for it. Okay, so looks like download is complete. IntelliJ is indexing the files. Let's wait for that as well. Okay, looks like everything is complete. So if you look at the project, you will have one Gradle folder where it will have the Gradle jar, and we have the properties file which will have the details of which Gradle version that we are using. So anytime if you want to upgrade your Gradle version, you can just change this particular, and we will have our src file where we will have one test folder for your unit test cases and your main folder where you will have your packages inside the Java. folder. Okay, so we will have one demo application class. It'll do nothing but just help in initializing a web server. And one more important file here is build.gradle. So this is where all your configurations, your dependencies, your tasks, or anything you want to do regarding building of your project, it will be configured here in this file. So from our perspective, from coding perspective, the three most important folders or files that we'll be looking into is the main folder in which we'll be writing our code, test folder which we'll be using for unit test cases, although we won't look into it for as of now, and the third most important is the build.gradle file. By the way, this is as we had chosen in our Spring initializer, this is Groovy DSL. We have a Kotlin DSL as well, but Groovy is being used since a long time, so we'll be using it since it will be easy for debugging, and for any issues that come up we can easily search it on Google, and it's pretty easy to get answers in this. So to just check whether our web server is running, we can just use the run button on IntelliJ. It will compile, or it will build the whole project and run the web server, most probably on port 8080. Just shrink it a bit. Okay. So if you look here, we can see Tomcat has already started on port 88 of HTTP, that is port 80, which is the port for HTTP :88. So if we hit, or if we go to our own port, or we can say our own API with this not API, sorry onto our own IP address with these ports, we should be able to get some result. What is our IP address? That's either 127.0.0.1 or localhost. Just wait, 127.0.0.1. This is our IP address for any computer, and we'll be using port 8080. Since we are already, as you can see, we are already using HTTP, so we don't need to use port 80. It is automatically configured to be as 80. So just hit it, and yes, we are able to see white label error page. At least we got something. So if the server was not running, we would have not got any result. We'll just verify that once again, and instead of this, you can even simply write localhost, because in browsers it is automatically configured to be 127.0.0.1. Yeah. It didn't it was so instantaneous that it didn't feel that it reloaded, but let's just do it here. So it's the same thing. So this is our web server running on 8080. Let me just stop this, and again reload it, and unable to connect. That you will see in almost any web page. And yeah, that's it. Let's get started with something else in the next video.